Hello, Salemites. Welcome to Day's Daily Dose TV. So I'm going to be covering Days of Our Lives for the week of Monday, May 8th to Friday, May 12th, which was yesterday. I was trying to get a video out yesterday, but it was just a crazy day. Anyway, we're going to go on. A lot happening this week, of course. Okay, so Monday we start off and we see Gabby and Stefan. They're all, I guess what this looks to. They are all just, all getting crazy and love happy on the Gamera couch there. And they are plotting, their evaluation that Gabby has done of EJ that she has sent over to the board. So, Gabby took Nicole to the hospital Friday. But right before Cole started having abdominal pain, she just had signed on to her computer. So, when Stefan came home and him and Gabby were talking, they realized that they could get into her computer and see about the evaluation she did of Stefan. And they got in because she had just signed into her account. They got in and they seen the letter, and she had not sent it yet, but she was finished with it. She had it all typed up. So, what is that? So, they went on and they took the letter and they fixed it. They fixed it. They made it sound like a nice evaluation, a good one. They just changed some words around and then they emailed it. So now the board, Mr. Chen, have both of these evaluations from Stefan and Gabby, but he thinks one's from Gabby and one's from Nicole. Meanwhile, Nicole's at the hospital where she finds out that she's pregnant. Kayla originally believes that she has the early stages of menopause. Like she told Nicole, she said, it's not, because Nicole's like, menopause, like we all do. And, Kayla's like, most women are starting menopause 51, 52, so it's not unheard of that women in their 40s start their premenopause, and a lot of women do, and that's true. So she's thinking all along that she's menopausal, but when they get the results back, she's with child. Okay, so since her and Eric just had made a little whoopee when they were victims of the biscuits, Nicole has been with two men recently, and she confides in Kayla that she doesn't know who the father of this baby is. Kayla's like, you don't need to explain all this to me. But she did. She explained it to Kayla about her and Eric with the biscuits. And then, of course, she's living with EJ's current girlfriend. So it's all going to get kind of crazy. I'm sorry, my throat gets real dry doing this. Okay, EJ comes in and Gabby and Stefan are just acting stupid and goofy. And, actually when he first comes in, Stefan's not downstairs with her yet. And, Gabby's telling EJ, well, Nicole's not here. She's at the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And EJ's like, what's wrong with her? Is she okay now? And Gabby says, I have no idea. I just took her to the hospital. And he said, you left her there? And she's like, well, yeah, we're not besties. And really, Gabby had a hard time. I'm surprised she even took Nicole to the hospital because she didn't want to. She was like, okay, I know what you're doing. You're trying to distract me so I don't send this evaluation of EJ to the board. Stefan and Gabby are, and I love them both. I really do, especially Gabby. She's one of my favorites. Her character is so. I think they're just running this pettiness in the ground. Just do a good job and run the company. It's all I can tell you, man. EJ scurries off to the hospital. Now, unbeknownst to Nicole, both her possible baby daddies are at the hospital at the same time because Eric is also there because he's going to get stitches above his, it's on the side of his eye, where EJ popped him in the face earlier this day. Marlena's made him go to the hospital, and she's with him. So Kayla did not tell Eric that she was there. She wanted to give Nicole a break. And besides, EJ was in there with her. He came out for something, and he did see Eric, so he didn't bother to tell Nicole that Eric was there. I mean, why would he? Oh, I've got the hiccups. Excuse me. Eric's like the rival. So, oh man, don't tell me I'm going to start with hiccups. And it looks like, man, I'm starting with some hiccups. So, they're still searching for Kate, or as Roman calls her, Katie. And Kate's on a boat with some crazy eccentric man that we find out because Kate meets him on Monday that this is Dimitri. What was his last name? And he's supposed to be in prison, but he has a man, or paid a man, I think, that looks very much like him to take his place in prison. So, Kate meets him, and I don't remember much about him, but he used to work for the ISA from what I can tell. Or else he just had a lot of run-ins with them because he apparently was very smitten with Kate's daughter, Billy, who also is in the ISA, I think. Yeah, because we've seen her in Beyond Salem. But before I got strung off on Kate's ordeal, this is Kate's ordeal. Yeah, they're all still looking for her. We've got Roman. Now Maggie and Victor are in Greece. I think that they're not there at this moment on Monday, I don't believe. No. I don't think so. But they're on their way there. So Roman's there, Patch is there, Chad is there, and Andrew Donovan, Shane's son, the ISA director, he asked Harris to stay on and help them find Kate, because since he was a Navy SEAL, he knows a lot about the boats in the area and all kinds of stuff. So, and several of them are just hesitant because, like Roman said, that's okay for him helping, but, I still don't believe that he's all the way fried backwards, if you know what I mean. That's not what he said. He didn't say fried backwards. I did. But, he's not sure that his treatments cleared him all out. So, but it seems like they did. He's very regretful of not telling Hope about Bo. And my God, did he even go 24 hours and not tell her? Or was it just a couple of days? Wasn't very much. I mean, get a grip, people. This is the show where people do anything for love. So, it's not unheard of to think that, this would happen. So, let me see if I got anything else down here for Monday. Harris is helping. Okay, so at first I thought, because he said she was a valuable hostage. So we thought that he wanted, money. And she said, well, give me the phone. She said, no, well, call my husband, Roman Brady. He'll give you whatever money you want. And he's like, Roman Brady, he doesn't have the kind of money I would need. And she's like, but there's people that care about me that do. There's people that would help him. And she said, Chad Demara's like my son, so give him a call. He'll give you money for me. And then she's starting to figure out that maybe he doesn't want money. And if he doesn't want money, what is he wanting? Well, we may not find this out till Friday. I don't remember because it doesn't appear that I wrote it down. But I think, no, I may have wrote it down. We'll just hold on till Friday and see. Okay, so Kate wouldn't agree with Dimitri's. He was trying to be sweet on her, really. Let's dance, Kate. I want to see if you can dance as good as that beautiful daughter of yours. And she, like, whipped her knife around at him. So, you know, he sent her back to the fish. And then we move on to Tuesday, May the 9th. And Chloe and Alexandra, or Alexander. Chloe and Alexander. I think he wears a kilt, you know, dress, so he might be an Alexander. Chloe and Xander, I'm just joking around. I'm just silly assing. They are all moved in their apartment. They get up on their first day, and he's saying, "Oh, Chloe, you slipped in, huh?" You know, she didn't sleep very late, like 9 o'clock maybe. Who knows? I don't even know if they said the time. But he says, "I'm getting a little peckish. I'm a little hungry, you know." And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "So, what's on the menu for breakfast? What are you whipping up?" And she just looked at him. And she's like, "You expect me to cook? You were expecting me to cook for you?" You know, she set him straight right away. She said, "I'm not here to be your cleaner or cook for you. I mean, sure, I'll clean, you know, the apartment or whatever, or keep my stuff up." And she said, "But I'm not going to be your maid. It seems to me like you have a maid. I think this was a mistake." So, you know, she's going to move out. And he's like, no, I'm sorry." And he said, "I tell you what, I love to cook. I'm going to whip us up a couple of eggs. How does that sound?" And then he goes over and he opens the refrigerator, and the refrigerator's empty. And he's like, "Oh, so I don't guess you made it to the grocery." And she's like, "No, I don't guess I did." And she was real nasty about that. And, you know, he is paying all the bills. I'm not saying she has to be his, you know, slave or anything. But most people, if someone is helping you out majorly like that, they want to do something in return. You know, what can I do for you? You know, you need me to go to the grocery for us? I can do that. You're paying for everything. Well, he's paying her half of the rent. I don't know how the groceries and all that's working out. But the girl don't have a job. So I don't know. I feel like she's being a little bit too just overreacting over every little thing. But then I do understand she has to get boundaries and things that she expects and doesn't expect, and what he expects of her out right on the table, you know, or else we could have a big mess here. So, you know, now, what is that? Oh, how did I forget her? Them. Okay, so, apparently, Wendy, or how I call her, Wendy, everyone knows it's Wendy. Johnny's calling her, you know, and of course, Trip is busy spoiling her and fixing her some big fancy breakfast, and they're walking around in their house coats and stuff like that. You know, of course, they didn't, you know, but still she's staying there. And it seems to me like she is constantly coming on to him like, "What do you have planned?" Or, "I can't wait to see what you have planned." And she's getting on my nerves. I think Johnny deserves better than her, so I was kind of rooting for him, but I'm not now. It's like she's playing some kind of game with Johnny and Trip. I'm not a big fan of Trip, the character Trip, because he's just boring bad. And he was in cahoots with Allie, and I didn't like her. She's boring bad too. They were a perfect couple. Perfect. But anyway, Johnny's calling her, and he's like, I just talked to your brother, and he said you're still in Seattle? And she's like, yeah, well, Joey came home, and I just hung around to kind of help out a little bit. Help Trip out a little bit. And I'm sitting there thinking, they haven't aired not 1 second of Joey being home, in the bed, or you helping out anything, girl. You just been going and playing on, circus rides. They're not circus rides. Do they have rides at the circus? I don't think so. Oh my God. I took my kids to that Shriner Circus, which is a great circus, by the way, when they were little. Their grandmother and their dad was going to take them, and their dad come down with the flu. He was sick as a dog, and so I had to fill in, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. My kids were like 3 and 2. It's hard. The circus is something that's good for kids that age because they can scream and jump up and down or whatever, but still, it was not a good circus trip, but I think they enjoyed it. Anyway, I'm straying. How did I get to talking about the circus? My God, what was that? Oh, okay. Wendy and Trip. Yeah, they rode a Ferris wheel, or something, and they kept talking about it, and the whole story was boring. You know it. So I don't really care what happens with them. I do like Johnny. I'd like to see him get back with Chanel. I think they make just such a super cute couple. And I think they can make it work this time. I don't like Wendy. She can stay in Seattle and keep Trip there while you're at it. They just don't seem to have any interesting storylines. It was a tad bit interesting when her and Johnny were jetting off to find Rolf and all that, but not really. I could do without all of that. But everybody likes different things. It's just their characters. So anyway, just like in real life, you don't like every single person you meet. You try to be respectful and kind to people, whether you feel like you all gel or not. It's just called, life. And us living in it. So, what else do I have to go? Okay, so Chanel is dating Talia. Apparently Abe didn't know about this, so when Chanel got up for breakfast this morning, Paulina was asking her how her date went. And he was like, I didn't know she was dating, She had to tell her she was dating Talia. And of course, Abe, he's got that rule, you can't date employees, on the police station and all through the local government there, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, she's real excited about it. It's starting to get on my nerves because, Talia's just yanking her chain, man, and I keep thinking that Talia's having feelings for Chanel. She does like Chanel and Paulina. I think she's struggling a little bit with her dirty deeds for her boyfriend, a little weasel. Okay, so Jada. Okay, so Talia's having breakfast, at the pub. And she's on the phone to Colin. And he says something about something he's planning for Paulina. And she's like, what? What is going on with Paulina? Jada overhears her. And she hurries up and gets off the phone and tells him, I gotta call, my sister just came in. So as soon as she hangs up the phone, Jada's like, so, she said good morning. She said good morning back to her, and the next words out of her mouth were, so who was that on the phone? Jada's like straight up, man. She is straight up. And she made up some story. She said she was talking to Chanel, and she's like, really? Talking about Paulina? And she told her, yeah, I was talking to her about the breathing exercises I told her mother to do for her anxiety attacks. Yes. She so far has been very good at making up these little on-the-spot stories, but it's getting to her. It's stressing her out, so we'll see how that goes. She wiggles her way out of it. That's what she does. Paulina goes down to the gas station. That's what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, you gonna pick you up a Gatorade, girl? Paulina goes down to the police station, and she's going off on Rafe. What is taking so long? Why is Sloan Peterson not locked up? And Rafe's with her, and he's like, Rafe, I don't understand what's happening. And he's like, I just, have to make sure, everything is in line, and I have evidence, which I don't yet. And Abe's like, do you have another suspect, Rafe? And Rafe's like, well, I can't comment on that. And he's like, I'm the mayor, and I'm giving you permission to comment on it. So, he told, Abe and Paulina how, they had, that Talia had been a suspect. And Paulina's like, that's sweet girl, there's no way she did it. But Rafe's just going over reasons why they thought she did it. And she said, but, still, the girl doesn't have no motive to do that to you all. And she seems to, care about you all. And Paulina said, yes, and we care about her. So. But he tells them, Rafe tells them, when I get some evidence that I can arrest somebody on, there's going to be an arrest. So, Talia got a little bent out of shape with Jada asking her questions. She's like, are you done now? Officer, am I free to go? Some little banter they had. That may have not been the exact words, okay? I'm just freestyling here. So, you get the gist of it, right? So she gets mad and she gets up and she leaves the pub. Well, in walk Chloe and Xander, since they don't have any breakfast at home and they're hungry. And Xander said he was going to foot the bill for that. So Miss Chloe loaded up. She got a big breakfast and extra bacon on the. She just took him to town. Anyway, that was after the fact. So they come in and Rafe walks over to Jada and he's like, they sat down at the table. They said, was wondering if we could get an update on the biscuit situation. And she was talking, she didn't. They were still working on it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how the conversation came about. But somehow they got up. Oh, I should have wrote it down. Something about Talia. Now, at this moment, Chloe and Xander do not know that Talia is Jada's sister. So they said something. Xander said something about Talia. And he said, we're talking about the guy in the hotel room. Oh, okay. Did they see Jada walk out? Xander said something about her being in a bad mood or something about, well, I would be too, staying at that seedy motel with that fellow, he said something. And Jada said, what? You saw her? And he said, oh yeah. I seen her coming out of this this room at the hotel. And yesterday, I seen this guy come out, and he was just a little prick. And he was all nasty and stuff. He was, And I was asking him about her. And he said he didn't know what I was talking about. There hadn't been no girl there. And he's like, me and Chloe both talked to her the other day. We know she was there. And she's like, do you know exactly what room this was? And he said, why are you so interested in this? And she told him that Talia was her sister. And she was interested in it. So Xander gave her the room number. And she took off like a bat out of hell out of the pub. So where was she going? To the hotel. Yes, to the hotel. Now, a loser, and she had. Okay, so we move on to Wednesday then. Wednesday. Jada questions Colin. He's questioning her about the girl, and he tells her that, that's her sister. And he's like, well, now, looks like you have a bit of a personal interest. Do you have a warrant? Because she's wanting some ID from him. She wants to know who he is. He told her that his name was Colin Firth, but she knows that's a fake name. Well, his first name is Colin, but his last name is not Firth. It is Peterson, as in Sloan Peterson's bro. Little bro. He's gone all rogue. So she is drilling him like there is oil in that room. And he is just coming up with one thing after another. She should have just pulled out her gun and said, give me your ID, or I'm gonna arrest you. But you can't just do that, but you can actually. They can only do something about it after that's already been done, but, that's against the rules and stuff. So I don't advise anybody to do anything against the rules, especially anything illegal. So, okay. Paulina gets another text, another threat. What did this one say? Something about you better watch your back. And that's why Paulina's, I'm trying to think. Paulina's still in the police station going off on Rafe when she gets that text, and she shows him, and he's like, okay, I'm going to question Sloan. So I guess they call or send her a text. I think they called her and told her they needed to question her some more. Yes, this is so funny. So, not what I'm just saying, but what's getting ready to come up. What? Oh, yeah, Colin keeps denying that he knows Talia. But, Jada knows he's lying. Talia takes Chanel flowers, and she does that, after she leaves Colin. She just misses Jada. Jada just misses her. And then she starts making out with her, and Paulina walks in on them, and, they're just, they're embarrassed or whatever, but they weren't doing anything but, like, kissing or whatever. But, it was probably getting ready to go a little bit further. But anyway, Talia goes on and leaves. Meanwhile, Sloan is getting called to the station again about this text. But back at the ranch, back at the DeMera mansion, Anna goes upstairs. Did she take Nicole some breakfast or something? No. She just goes in to check on her. I think EJ took her some breakfast. I don't remember. There's always somebody taking somebody breakfast in that mansion. That's where you want to go for breakfast. But of course, Nicole and Tony are back. And she knocks on the door and goes in, and she's talking to Nicole. She's like, I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. And she tells Anna that EJ found out that she slept with Eric. And actually, I didn't have that wrote down, but that happened, I think, Monday. Is that the day that she was in the hospital? When EJ came to the hospital, you know, he told her he knew about her, him and Eric. And, you know, she told him she didn't think he would understand. And believe it or not, he was cool with it. Not cool with it, but as cool with it as he could be, because he knew that they were under the influence of the biscuits, and you know they really just didn't know what they were doing. So you know, EJ was surprisingly okay with it, and that happened on Monday. So I forgot that part. But anyway, so she's talking to Anna, and she confides in Anna that she is pregnant. The only other person that knows she's expecting is Kayla. So now Kayla, Nicole, and Anna know that Nicole is pregnant. And she told Anna that because of the incident with the biscuit loving baby, that she didn't know who the father of this baby was, because it's too soon for them to do an amnio or anything. She'll need to know, you know, how far along she is to be able to decide which person is the father. So I forgot something else on Monday. So she did lie to EJ about being pregnant, and she didn't tell Eric either. And you know, she doesn't want to tell them. She's not just trying to hide something. She wants to have an idea of who the father is before she tells them, because she wants to be able to have the facts instead of just say, well, there's a chance you might be the baby daddy, and there's a chance you may not, because that would just make everybody worry and cause all kinds of undue stress that nobody needs, especially Nicole with her history of pregnancies. You know, she doesn't have good luck carrying them. So I understand that she's just wanting a little time. Anna tells her, you know, she can trust her. Don't worry, she's not going to tell anybody, and she's there to help her, you know, if there's anything that she needs. So, you know, I'm glad she's got that little confident there, Anna. You know, just girl talk. So, Anna knows, Nicole knows, and Kayla knows, and that's it. So, Paulina is still hanging around at the police station because she started having another panic attack, I believe, when Sloan came in. And Paulina started, well, there you are! You know, and she's just, you know, they're bickering a little bit. And Paulina said, you're evil. Now, she called her what she was supposedly calling her was a succubus. You know, the incubus and the succubus, which are evil spirits that come upon people. So, she was trying to say that she was a succubus, but what it sounded like she said is, you're just a succubus. You know, it was hilarious because I heard succubus. I thought it was funny as hell. I was just laughing my head off because, you know, you may not hear it that way, but to my little ears, it was hilarious. It was just hilarious. And that is the end of Wednesday. Thursday, Gabby and Stefan really get EJ going. They send the Gabby goes in looking for Stefan, and she sits in EJ's chair, or the CEO's chair, which is EJ and Stefan. And Stefan comes in, and they're talking about, they sent the valuations over, and EJ ought to be getting in trouble anytime. Well, sure enough, EJ comes in, and they said, oh yeah, Nicole left me a very good evaluation. And he's like, you bastard. I know you all messed with us somehow. And Mr. Chin starts calling EJ, and EJ's flipping out, trying to tell him, you know how Gabby Hernandez is. But he's getting his butt chewed out. And Mr. Chin wants EJ to go to anger management. And EJ doesn't like that. And he said, anger management? I'll show you anger management. And he takes his phone and he just throws it up against the wall and stuff. I would say it busted, because it should have, but he had that phone back in his hand in just a few minutes, trying to call him back, but he wouldn't take his calls. Meanwhile, Gabby and Stefan are just laughing, and again, EJ's saying, you bastard, you're gonna pay for this. I think they're being stupid. All this petty stuff they're doing, it's just so stupid. I don't know. For some reason, Gabby and Stefan look a lot more stupid than EJ and Nicole. But that's just my opinion. Let's see. Okay. Stefan, EJ. Yep. Oh, so it's Thursday when Paulina walks in on Chanel and Talia. So Sloane went to the police station. Of course, she was fighting with Paulina, and she gave Rafe her phone. Told Rafe she didn't do it. He was going to scan her phone or whatever real quick. I thought she gave him his phone. Well, she left. And while she left, Jada came back. And maybe Sloane came back for her phone. She came back for something. She left there laying on the desk. And she was coming around the corner, and she stopped because she heard Jada and Rafe talking. And Jada was telling Rafe about this joker. Well, she didn't call him a joker, but that she knew he was lying. Colin Firth. She said, I know that's a fake name. When she heard Colin Firth, she knew right then it was her brother. So she headed right over to that seedy motel. Motel. And, yeah, she heads over there and she confronts her brother. And we move on to Friday. Let's see if there's anything else about that on Friday. Nope, so I'll go on and tell you what happened with her confronting her brother. So she goes over there, and he's not wanting to answer the door. And when he hears a voice, he knows who it is. She can say. And she's like, well, hello, little brother. Awful nice of you to tell me that you were in town. And I forget what he said, but she said, I know what you've been up to, and it's got to stop. So, she told him she realizes now it's him doing all this, and she's like, you've got enough revenge, or you can't do this all your life, and this is gonna ruin my life. And she told him she's in a relationship basically she doesn't want to get messed with, and she's like, I want you to put a stop to this now. Stop it. So he agrees to stop everything he's doing, and Sloane leaves. Okay, so on Friday, I keep wanting to call him Felix. Alex has asked Stephanie to accompany him to this meeting where all Alex is supposed to do is just get this man to sign. The deal's a done deal. It's already been agreed on. The papers are ready. All Alex has to do is get this guy to sign. Well, they go to. He asks Stephanie to go with him to be like his backup and kind of help him. So they go to meet him, and he's a young guy, and he's like, "Oh, I thought he's Mags or Max or something. I don't know what he called Maggie was coming." And he told him that she had an urgent matter to take care of out of town, and he was perfectly capable of closing the deal. The guy tried to reschedule a couple times, but Alex assured him he could handle whatever whatever was going down. So, Alex made the mistake of saying that Maggie did a real good, special job and was excellent at it, especially for someone who hasn't been in the business long. And this put a red flag out for this young boy doing and he looked like he was in his early 30s. He was like, I was under the impression that she had a lot of experience. And, Alex is busy trying to cover that up. And the guy's already hesitant about signing. He said, I can't do a $1 million or $1 billion deal. I thought he said $6 million deal with a company that they've got a new person handling it. I just can't do it. So, Alex and Stephanie tried everything they could to walk that back and to change things, and the guy said, I don't know, he walked off and wouldn't even talk to Alex. But Maggie called Alex and he was asking about Bo and stuff. And he's like, I don't want you to worry about the deal. And she's like, did he sign the agreement? And he's like, no, but I will get him to sign it, like tomorrow or something, And she's like, no, you won't, Alex, because he called me and he's backed out of the deal. So Maggie already knows. Alex kind of ran him down and stuff, and he was trying to explain it to her, and he really didn't. I think he's getting a screw deal here by Maggie. And she told him, I'm sorry, Alex, you're fired. So Alex got fired, and that kind of pissed me off. Because I thought he did fine, It's not his fault that Maggie's older and doesn't have a lot of experience in just that. Is it Friday? John and Marlena are celebrating Dog's anniversary. He says that he figures she saw about 5,000 patients. And during the whole episode and through their whole conversations, they kept having flashbacks of Marlena, Dr. Evans, Dog, and different patients that she's seen, like Nikki Horton way back in the day, when she first started practicing, her first patient, and just all kinds of things. And I found it actually very boring. And I thought, not this again, every time they flash back to them. And I didn't realize it till after the episode ended. And I've got this under Friday, but it seems to me like that was Thursday. They had a note at the end of the episode. Congratulations to Deidre Hall. That was her 5,000th episode. So congratulations, Doc. And all your fans, I love you. Yes. So that was interesting. It seems like after all of the years that she would have had more episodes than that. I don't know. But I'm sure they would know. I wouldn't know. And when we flash back to Dimitri, who sends for Kate again. So the guy rough boy goes and gets Kate, takes her up to the big dude, Dimitri, and Kate finds out he doesn't want money. It looks like it hasn't said specifically, but it looks to me like he's looking for the safe return of Kate. He wants immunity, for him not to be accountable for whatever he's in prison for, which I don't remember. So that's what I think they settled on. Um, Meanwhile, the guys spot Dimitri's boat. Not, is it on a map or on some kind of like drone action or something? They spotted a boat that was parked and wasn't moving. It wasn't docked, but it was like out in the ocean or out in the sea, kind of anchored there. And it had been there for several weeks without moving. And the guys decided, Harris and Patch and Chad, they decided this is it. This is where Kate is. So they pulled up the registration to the boat, and they found out it belonged to Dimitri, whatever his name is. So then they were talking about how he was in prison, and then they found out it wasn't him, it was a lookalike. So now they're pretty sure that they know who has Kate and what his story is, and they get on a boat, and that's what we see Friday is them heading off in the boat to go save, not actually, to go save Kate. They actually make it to the boat, and it goes off Friday with, they decide to split up. What is it? Patch, Chad, and Harris. They decide to split up, and that big burly man that's got Kate thrown into fishes comes up beside Patch and says, "What have we here?" And he has like a gun pulled on him. And that's a wrap for this week. And that was on Friday, yesterday, May 12th, 2023. So that's what's happening in Salem. I hope everyone has a happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. And the mothers that are in heaven. And the mothers that are here. And, if you don't get to see your mother tomorrow, make sure you give her a call. And always keep in your prayers that you're thankful for your mother and your family. And I will see you all next week in Salem. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And I'll see you guys next week.